Hey, it's Shapes, and welcome to another expedition of the Anime Encyclopedia. Hello. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Hello. That's it. Hello and welcome. Yeah, sort of thing. That's from a particular YouTuber that I follow. Hello. Good to see you, Greg. Always first. No, very, very often first. I shouldn't say always first, but very often. Very often. Oh. I got all H for the first edition complete, which is nice. The third edition has a lot more, entries in the third edition for H for K. I mean, oh my god. And I kind of took my time today. Really, I really could have finished it a lot earlier, but whatever. But I did have like 2 hours to spare, so I ended up going back and doing more time codes for more of the VODs. Which is nice. It's always a thing I always have to keep doing. And then, yeah, then I ended up, so I got that, and I'm 2 streams away. I have to do I back in June, and J. I and J are their own streams. Those all complete. So I have to do all the time codes for those. But the time codes are also really general. I try not to like go title by title or anything because there's some instances where I'm glazing by them in like 5 seconds or something. It's hard for me to discern because I also talk all over the place of like, oh, I talk about this title and I kind of trail, I move on to other subjects, but I still kind of keep talking about the other title and whatever. So it's a little hard to follow in that regard. And that's why I'm hoping I can do the VODs and I can like edit them down. Hopefully I can download them. I tried downloading one of them, but I think the way I did it or something, it just downloaded as a file. I don't know what type of file it is. I can open it with MPV player, but like literally what kind of fucking file? Type of file. File. It's a file. Like you fucking what? So it's annoying. So I have to figure that out. But I've downloaded VODs before. It was just through a different system. Like whatever. So I'll just download those, and I hopefully will be able to like take some time to cut them down, or just like compile my thoughts a little bit better. And through that, hopefully, I'll be able to take like a separate note document and start writing like actual notes and time codes of like actually bring this up. Like this is an actually really good point, because obviously I have this whole deluge of notes. And in hindsight, I don't know which ones are important or least important, or what I was more passionate of at that time. So I completely forgot about some of these. Obviously, I've been doing this over a year, you know. So there's going to be tons of this. This is going to be completely new information to me almost, because I say it on stream and I forget it. Then it's the next stream, you know. Hi, glad to catch one of these from the start. Yeah, good to see you, Alice. You're going to make me blush. I'm really happy we're back to weekly streams. We're trying. We're doing our best here. I'm hoping it's going well so far, but I do feel a lot better when it's weekly and I can, you know what I mean? I don't know where we're gonna get by the end of this year, but I remember one time I did the math. I'm just like, oh, if I did it every week, I'd be done by January of 2023. Definitely not happening now. It's gonna be probably a 2-year project at this point. Freaking wild to think. But yeah, that's just how it goes. I might, nah. I was gonna be like, oh, after this Naruto project, I could just go ham and go even harder on just this project and maybe do 2 streams a week. I don't want to do that. I don't know. But we'll see. But I did like do some math in terms of the page count of the encyclopedia, and was like, where's the halfway point, so I could feel good about myself. And it was L. It was somewhere in L, so we're getting close to the halfway point, like really close. Still have to go through the rest of K, and then L is the whole thing. So yeah, we're not too close to the halfway point. Great. But at least that means if it'll be done sometime. Yeah, I was gonna say like by this time next year, but then who knows, right? Who knows? Hopefully. Anyway, what really keeps it going is you guys being here. I should take off concurrent viewers because that always takes the wind out of my sails sometimes. It's knowing how many people are watching. But like I should at least appreciate that the VODs at least have at least 100 viewers each. A lot of like, and that's like nothing in YouTube terms, obviously, and that's not usually what I can pull for like digest or something. But any VOD like that, right? There's plenty of people who would like be like, wow, that's pretty, and over 1,000 people have seen the first stream, So I would be grateful for that. I think, and the people that appreciate this and watch the VODs afterwards, and I really appreciate you. Despite me not, having see, I know people do, so that's all that matters to me. Anyway, enough of the wishy-washy talk. I think. I also hope I am not. Oh my God! Wait, what? I had a drink here. I swear to God. One second. One friggin' second. One friggin' second. I don't forget that I got gassed last week. Totally lost energy and everything. And I had a drink too and everything. I had to get stuff, but like, gonna go and watch it this time. Maybe it won't work. Also, I changed the music to Minecraft. 10 hours of rain with Minecraft music to sleep, study, or relax. That's what I was listening to as I did this reading. Also what I went to bed with the other night. That was nice. I couldn't be here for the last few streams. It's great that I can watch the VODs. Hell yeah. Yeah, I agree. And there's been at least 2 times where I watched something or... Yeah, it was watched one time and then listened to another time where the streams have gotten blocked. So I've had to download those streams. Thankfully, they don't like block them for me. And I can download those streams. I can re-edit them to like take out that stuff, basically. I normally just watch the VODs because time zones. That's fair, DGKP. It's good to see you on stream here, though, despite the time zone stuff. Let me know if the music is okay. It should be, though. I also gotta make sure I talk into the mic. Okay? Stream etiquette. Because you wouldn't see my my mouth. I don't know. Just trying to find a balance with that, I guess. Okay. Finally, moving on to changes. Moving on. Starting the stream. Anyway. They moved Ninja Trickery to Karakuri Ninja Girl. And that was something that, like, no, it wasn't. There was another one later where I realized that it was a different one or something. I forget. Is it Kizuna or I forget which one it was. Whatever. You might want to increase your volume. Well, if I increase volume, I'll have to decrease that because I have my volume as loud as I can go. Just I need to increase the music a lot to get you to a good volume. No, yeah. It creates static. Oh, especially the this particular VOD has like music and shit. Mostly you're fine. Okay. Hopefully that music's okay. Yeah. But you're right, I don't want static and shit. Okay. Yeah, they moved Ninja Trickery to Karakuri Ninja Girl, and it was completely revised. So let's check out the... That's a rare one. I know Hakage Densetsu was like that. And, some very small handful of other ones, but it's a rare instance I want to really show you the difference here. Karakuri Ninja Girl. Right. It's in Ninja Trickery in the first edition. The reason I found it was because You know, I would come across this in K, Karakuri Ninja Girl, in the 3rd edition, and I wouldn't have gotten to it until N in the 1st. Ninja Trickery. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this one. It's like, bruh, what? Where is... Gotta put the encyclopedia in this one. Oh, it's pulled right up. Thank you. Okay, the 1st edition says, in an erotic anime based on a manga by Miyazuki Ron, Rei Rei the sex ninja and her companion Sukimaru fight injustice and do a lot of humping. Compared to La Blue Girl, which has the same idea, but a nastier way of going about it. And here's the revised one. Rei Rei the sex ninja, Fawn Bell in the US translation, and her companion Sukimaru, or Moonshadow, attempt to escape from their hard life in ninja country so they can settle down together. After several sexual humiliations at the hand of their pursuers, they eventually reach our own world, compared to bewitched Agnes, for some reason, where Rei Rei becomes a housewife and Sukimaru puts his climbing skills to use as a construction worker. However, their married bliss is interrupted by the arrival of Rei Rei's former lesbian lover Asagiri, who demands that she return to her homeland. When initial entreaties fail, she attempts to remind her what she's been missing, immobilizes her by attaching a sacred card to her privates, difficult to do unnoticed, even with ninja skills, and tries to carry off Sukimaru. However, true love conquers, and then it's Asagiri's turn for a bit of erotic punishment from Sukimaru. A lighthearted erotic anime based on a manga by Ryo Ramiya, wife of Hiroyuki Utatane, lampooning many of the traditions of both other erotica and the magical girl genre itself. Completely different. Mind you, the original one was in an erotic anime based on a manga by Miyazuki Ron, Rei Rei the sex ninja and her companion Sukimaru fight injustice and do a lot of humping. That's it. Like, okay. That's different. Interesting. How goes, Annalisa? Good to see you. Oops, I didn't mention the music the second time. Increase the volume is what I meant. I think Ninja Scroll BD just went out of print. Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's been that way for a while. So not out of print, but just like, it's been out there. It's been pretty easily accessible, so no excuse. But yeah, freaking wild difference there. And I don't think I brought up that it's a different author. It says a lighthearted erotic anime based on the manga by Ryo Ramiya. And this says Miyazuki Ron. And they mentioned that she's the wife of this other guy, but that's not the same guy. So they got like the author wrong, I think. Wait a minute. No, that's... Yeah. Sewing Disorder the Ninja Way. Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. There was a, oh my god, wait. There was a, I remember something familiar to me. That totally pink pineapple. Oh my god. I think they confused this with something else. Let me look up in the 3rd edition. Miyasuke Ron. No, this is his only mention. Wait a minute. Is Karakuri Ninja Girl? Where did I read that? Pink pineapple? Whatever. No excuse other than there's there's so much I want to buy. I guess I bought some things in the wrong order. Yeah, but it does that. Be how it is, for sure. I gotta go like right here because I don't want to block my face. That's the thing. But I also just, sucks. The error of choice, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. And I noted that it's not that Note that it had since been licensed in the US in the first edition. So then this first edition, it was not asterisked, so it doesn't have an English release, unlike these other ones. But Karakuri Ninja Girl in the third edition is asterisked, so it did have an English release. So maybe it was like once it got an English release, they figured out what it's about. Or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to put that over here. Alright, Karate Baka Ichidai. They added a bit about the trilogy of live-action films starring Sonny Chiba. Katri the Milkmaid. They added a blurb about the U.S. distribution, export market. A guess as to why it's not its native land. Because I guess it was distributed in a bunch of other countries, except the Netherlands, wherever it's from. I forget. And they think it's because, like, something based on this property, there was, like, a prequel or sequel movie, I guess, bombed there. Like, a live-action movie adaptation of that bombed. Whatever. Ushiro no Shomen Dare. So, surprisingly, the movie that my patrons and I watched yesterday, literally yesterday, happened to be in the reading today. That was interesting. They added a blurb about the 2005 remake that I had no idea was a thing. Although, I do put in the odd choices. I had to pop around a lot. Ushiro no Shaman Dare remake, it actually functions more like a sequel. Because at first I was like, oh, it's a remake. And I found it on YouTube. And then Victor was like, I think it's a sequel. And I'm like, huh. The Encyclopedia says it's a remake. But then I looked through it, and yeah, the movie starts where the original movie is like 3/4 of the way through, maybe even more so, like really deep into the movie, and it actually like fills in more details that I felt actually the original movie kind of trailed off and didn't do as much as I expected with. So this is actually kind of fills in the gaps of that, which is interesting. So yeah, it's more of a sequel. Technically. Ken the Wolf Boy, they added this blurb about director Sadao Tsukioka was still in his 20s at the time, accepting the job after several older, more experienced animation hands had turned it down on the grounds that producing 25 minutes a week of animation was impossible. Interesting. I just don't. It's just like you don't see that insight in these articles that often. So I wonder what prompted them. I think that they knew about that title just for that blurb, perhaps, and they felt the need to put it in there. I don't know. Kikaider. They added a sentence about the DVD bonus episode. I guess they didn't have that in the first edition. Kiki's delivery service. This was funny. They're like, oh, Tombo. Like when they're giving the synopsis, they have Tombo. In the third edition, they put this parentheses in, a forerunner for the lead of The Wind Rises. What? Just because he's a boy inventor with round glasses? Like, I'll admit it's been a couple years since I've seen Kiki's, but Tombo being like a forerunner for Jiro? Huh? What do you mean? Is that a surface level of an observation, as I'm hoping it's not? Like, I don't know. That was very strange to me. Like, oh, boy inventor who makes this flying bicycle, and he has round glasses, therefore he's Jiro. Is that what you're trying to say? And they do another thing with Kiki later. I'll talk about it in Odd Choices. That just crosses my wires and just gets under my skin. I'm just like, don't do that. Stop. You know. Oh, I guess that's pretty specific. I guess. And they're both characters with parts of Miyazaki in them. Sure, I guess. Whatever. And then the third edition added a blurb about the live-action pastiche that came out in Japan. that's like suspiciously titled a similar thing, only it's about motorcyclists. Rumor of a live-action adaptation of Kiki from Disney, but I guess didn't go anywhere. I had never heard of it. And then there was an announcement for a live-action adaptation of the books, like the first 2 books or whatever. I guess it's a series. Back in 2013. I don't know if that ended up happening or not. Yeah. They moved Killidian to Quiltian. Okay. Kimaguri Orange Road. They changed the... So of course they probably got feedback for this. They're like, actually, it's the junior champion of the karate club, not the head of the karate club. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you for correcting that in this Kimaguri Orange Road article. But I guess the Dragon Ball article is okay. I guess the One Piece article is completely accurate. I guess the Berserk article was at least changed, I believe. I don't remember if it was completely changed. I don't remember. But I remember there was a problem with that one too. Jukes. Sorry. Wait, what's this motorcycle one? I know there's a live action 2010 one. Is that the same? Okay. They mention... God. Kiki, where are you? Kiki. Kikaider Kiki. Okay. I'm looking for it. Oh yeah. Sorry. The original title was pastiched in the live-action Japanese bicycle courier movie Messengers from 2001. Which went by the suspiciously similar name of Majo no Sokutei, Sokutei, Majo no Sokutei, or Witch's Courier Service in its home country. Yeah. Kimaguri Orange Road. I just got my Blu-rays. Thanks, Discotech. Yeah. I love Madoka Ayakawa. Yeah. But it was so funny that they just changed that very minor detail, all things considered. And then there's other articles where they didn't change it. I thought that was so funny. Added this bit about the pilot episode and the Tanabata special, but, quote, we have little info about it. Because I guess they, somebody reached out to them being like, oh, there's this other thing too, and you should put in your article. And I guess they look into it as like, there's really not much about it. King Kong show, they changed commissioned by Rankin Bass from U.S. company Videocraft, which in turn farmed out the work to Toei in Japan. So like that first edition makes it sound like Rankin Bass commissioned Videocraft to make it, and Videocraft went and gave it to Toei. So it made it seem like a passing the buck situation. But they clarified it to commissioned by Rankin Bass Videocraft. It's like otherwise known as Videocraft. Like they're kind of the same company. Oh, and it's from Toei. They commissioned it from Toei in Japan, and so they cut out that part about like they farmed out the work to Toei. Being like, no, it was a very standard formal commission. Like there's nothing wrong with that kind of deal. I thought that was an interesting erasure of their snark from the first to the third. They also mentioned that King Kong Show was the first anime to be specifically made for the American market. And they changed that to first cell-based anime made specifically for the American market. Which is fair, I guess. I don't know. I wonder what animation from Japan was not that. Yeah. So Kinnikuman. They added a bit about the 2002 sequel, Ultimate Muscle, as well as the third season that was not broadcast in Japan. so they don't go in really any detail about it. I don't even think they title it. They don't even give it a title. They just says as well as a third season that was not broadcast on Japanese television. Then Kishin Core, they cut. So the first edition, they are saying that the aliens are attacking Earth, but they cut that part out because they are, I guess, not attacking Earth. There are aliens. They added based on a series of novels by Masaki Yamada. So I guess they, that's interesting. They didn't mention that in the first one. And they also added pointlessly retitled Alien Defender Geo Armor in later re-releases. So that was, yeah, I guess it was in later release sort of deal. Wasn't Frosty the first anime made for America, unless this King Kong show predates that? King Kong, I believe, was 66, and Frosty, I'm pretty sure, was 63 or 65. Something like that. So I do think it does predate it. But at the same time, wouldn't it make sense that Frosty was made with cells? I don't know. King Kong. Let me find King Kong. King Kong. The King Kong show. They listed as 1966. And Frosty, where was it broadcast if not Japan? The U.S. They made the third season for the United States market, like Ultimate Muscle. They made it for that, basically. Like the U.S. commissioned it, basically. Frosty. Film series. I guess it's technically a series. Oh, Frosty from 69. Yeah, Frosty's from 1969. So King Kong does predate it. So I assume maybe they're talking about... I wonder if they're talking about the other Rankin Bass stuff. Like Rudolph and shit. Rankin Bass Rudolph? Rankin Bass Rudolph was 1964. I don't know if that's, I usually consider stuff like Frosty co-productions instead of a full-fledged anime. Yeah. I totally agree with that. I know Tezuka tried to reach international audiences with some of his movies in the 60s, like Tale from Street Corner. And 1001 Nights, too. But 1001 Nights was 69, to be fair. But like, it's one... Because, Astro Boy was put on American televisions in, like, 64. They're talking about the first anime made specifically for an American audience. Not shown to American audiences. In terms of like a commission type of thing, I think. Anyway. Kite, they added this a bit about the US release history of how, like, they re-released it as like the uncut version and stuff like that. As well as the 2008 sequel, Kite Liberator. They just kind of mentioned that it happens. Street Corner was 64, I think. Yeah, something like that. Kizuna added a caveat from the first edition. It has since been joined by a rising tide of similar and more hardcore titles. They're talking about gay anime, I guess. They're talking about like very few titles of that genre would be brought over to the United States, and Kizuna was like a rare exception back in the day. And I guess there has since been a tide. They added this in the third edition. There's since been a rising tide of similar and more hardcore titles that have been brought over. Cool. New entries. Kick no Oni from 1970. Sessho Seki from 1968. And this is to the best of my knowledge. Like, I could not find them in the index of this first edition, and they're not where they would be in the third. The King's Tale from 1949. I'm wondering what kind of prompted them to include that one as its own entry. Because a lot of things before 1950, it's usually like they usually kind of like basket it all together as something. They try not to put a lot of independent anime on here. Koi Hime from 2000 and Kokudo from 2000 are both not here, despite a lot of 2001 anime showing up here as well. So those probably could have been in here if they knew about them, I guess. Did they like Kimaguri? No. Not especially. Okay, let's go to the positives. And I was thinking about when doing this reading, it's like opinions is the word I've been using a lot. But I came to it as like, this is like a judgment call. I think these are all like judgments on the quality of the work. Like saying something is high quality is a judgment call. That's your judgment saying, oh, that's high quality. You know? I don't know. I guess maybe you could like exchange it. Okay, you don't have to dig into it, thanks. Yeah, fair. Yeah. They weren't really hard on it, but like I could tell they didn't like it, yeah. Okay, anyway, positive. I know the director of Kite said that the non-hentai version is the real version, as the porn scenes were only added to get funding. Yeah, and it's interesting they mentioned that with Kite, their review of Kite. Anyway, Kaiko Kamen has plenty of comic potential. The live action lacks the slapstick and verve of the anime. So this when they're saying mentioning the live action, they're kind of putting it down in favor of the anime. So that was like a positive take, I think. Plenty of comic potential. Maybe it was more mixed because of some other things they were saying, but like, oh, it's ridiculous. But I don't know. They didn't seem to have disdain for it in the same way. Kiki's Delivery Service, one of the most wonderful films ever made about growing up. They were very, very glowing about that movie. And then Kirara, a clever variation on the quintessential time travel story. Got me interested in that one. I actually found it on YouTube too. So that's good. Negatibu. Kabuto. Plot is heavily laden with inconsistencies. Alright. Kaikon Phrase. Emphasizing music and drama over the animation itself, which is of a rather cheap digital nature. That's all the opinion they give on it, so I'm like, I guess that's pretty negative. All things considered. And then Kimagori Orange Road. Yeah. They think it's a standard love polygon exacerbated by a superfluous subplot. The whole psychics thing. Which is in the first episode, for the record. Terminally underused in many episodes. Except for the episodes where I guess it is used. Alright. I haven't watched it myself, so I wouldn't know. I know that no major companies wanted to fund Kite because they felt that the violence was too realistic. Mixed opinions. We're flying through this. It's gonna be a quick one today, which I'm fine with. You know, I've devoted a good chunk of my day to this thing now, so. Mixed opinions. Kama Sutra. It's mostly harmless. Nice sitar music. Not a patch on the oriental eroticism of Tezuka's 1001 Nights. Ugh. It wasn't really enough to be dismissive, I don't think. Because they were saying it's mostly harmless, nice sitar music. It sounded like they actually watched it. But I don't know if, like, maybe it is dismissive. I don't know. Meh. Key the Metal Idol. Uneven, but engrossing. Okay. It's kind of all they give on that one. So it's like this. They weren't like super positive about it. So like, yeah, it's more of a mixed. Kishin Core. Wonderful character stereotypes. Superb robot action spread throughout an excellent story. Doubtless intended as as innocent hokum, but somehow distasteful, as it's an alternate World War II history is more insidious than Deep Blue Fleet. How they start that article is like really, it's shocking. It's like, oh fuck. It's like they say it's like an alternate retelling. It's an alternate World War II history, more insidious than Deep Blue Fleet. And they went hard on Deep Blue Fleet, talking about how like inaccurate it is or whatever. But like, let me read you the fucking, not the whole thing. Famous last words, Shaves. Hijkl. Kishin Core. Like, starting this article this way. An alternate World War II history, even more insidious than Deep Blue Fleet, suggesting that Japan suggesting that Japan only invaded Manchuria to protect the world from aliens. Is that really insidious? If they're protecting it from aliens? Come on. I agree. I actually agree with their take on the psychic stuff. Honestly, I wish there wasn't there. It wasn't there most of the time. It's often forgotten about. Lol. Yeah, sounds about right. And apparently they did it for the movie, and the movie's like the best thing that came out of that series. At least it looks like that to me. The way they were describing it seems to be a more elevated material too, but again, the way they're describing it in places, it's just like they don't really like this. They don't really like it. Yeah, but that was just weird. They seem to like really like Kishin Core, like had fun with it, but then they have that both like they end the article with like one of the several retro anime that try to rewrite the lead up to Pearl Harbor to be filed with Sakura Wars and Virgin Fleet, doubtless intended as innocent hokum, but somehow distasteful in a country that still avoids telling its school children the truth about the war, however entertaining the fictions. It's like they ended on that, and it's like, okay, geez, don't fuck with the history of World War II, which is like, yeah, of course, fair. But like to be mad about it in this fucking sci-fi mech show, like, come on. I don't know. The movie and the OVAs are a step up. Oh yeah, seems like it. Yeah, Kite they were mixed on because they had a lot of positive things to say about it. But there's a but, you know, but yeah, high quality animation, graceful fight choreography, poignant tale of doomed love. But as the video cover panty shots of Sawa attest, Kite is far more interested in titillating its audience with sex and violence than it is with condemning them. Okay. It is interesting you brought that up, Fullman Man, of how like the scenes really are just added to fund it. It just purely in order to fund it. And that the non-hentai version is actually kind of the intended experience. But yeah. It's unfortunate. It also just reads to me when they say like, as the video cover panty shots of Sawa attest, it's far more interested in tilling its audience. Like, that makes it sound like that, like you're judging a book by its cover almost. But I know that's not really what they're doing. They clearly have seen it. But I just wasn't a fan of that phrasing being like, look, we'll prove our point. Look at the cover. You know, it's like, come on. Well, sorry for all the typing mistakes. That's fine. Kojiro of the Fuma clan they were mixed on. Surprisingly old-fashioned look to the designs and animation. I couldn't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Alright. So, okay. Yeah. And then dismissive articles. Boy, I was not a fan of this one. Sorry for the yawning. I'm sorry if I'm not the most energetic streamer boy today. Man, pretty sure the Kite cover was the compromise company's idea. There's an alternate cover that's far more serious in tone. Right. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I don't like judging an anime by that. Anything by that, really. King Arthur, a lackluster series that manages to make Arthurian legend look like just another cartoon. It compares unfavorably with Escaflowne that can make cartoons look like Arthurian legend. This fucking King Arthur anime came out in 1979, by the way. So cool job, like, compare, like, Escaflowne's, look, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, from fucking 1996. And, you know, I usually am not one to be like, you know, like all new anime, just because it's a later year makes it automatically better animation. I don't know. I just like, I find it an unfair comparison, personally. And also, it's pretty insulting to this particular show, because I think they are greatly, when you read that, and you've never seen or heard of this show before, King Arthur from 1979, I was like, and they describe it as like, oh, makes Arthurian legend look like just another cartoon. I can imagine it being like kiddie, or like kind of, you know, like kind of whatever. And I don't know. What was the fucking King Arthur anime? Yeah. Look at that! I actually didn't find this in the first time because I googled it in Japanese first. But like, it looks kind of cool for a show that came out in 1979. This looks very King Arthur to me. I think like kind of like Arthurian legend type of deal. I can kind of see that. I don't know. Like, yeah, it kind of looks like a show that would come out in 1979. You know, with fucking a lot of mecha designs look like this, like very humanoid, kind of whatever. Yeah, sure. But like, I don't know. I get kind of excited to see this as a kid. It looks like it takes itself seriously enough. Not like just another cartoon type of deal. And, you know, maybe that's just the OP and that's not fair or something. But I don't know. It's just sort of discouraging to me. And something I didn't like that they are very dismissive about. I wasn't showing it at all, was I? I'm so stupid. Forget what I was fucking doing for a second. God damn it. Yeah. I don't know. It looks kind of okay. I am showing it this time, right? Yeah. Yeah. Stupid. Yeah, you know. I think I'd be excited to watch this as a kid. And apparently, like, it does wacky other wacky shit. Like, they were describing some later seasons where, like, he's fighting pirates and, like, you know, like, weird fantastical stuff, I guess. And it's like, okay. They're just having fucking fun with it. It's cool. Calm down. I don't know. It's just me going for another time. Shape's going to bat for something he's never seen or whatever. I'd watch that. It looks cool. Hey, good to see you, Bob. You know what I mean? It's like, that looks fine. But I don't know if you saw the if you tuned in beforehand. They were dismissing that show the OP I was just showing. A lackluster series that manages to make Arthurian legend look like just another cartoon. It compares unfavorably with Escaflowne, that can make cartoons look like Arthurian legend. Like, fucking of course it can. Like, I'm usually not one to be like, oh, you know, just because this show came out in 2007, that means it's better animated than this show that came out in the 90s. You know, I don't really take, or the 60s or something. I don't usually take the year as indicative of, like, this show's dated. Oh, careful the animation. You know, I'm not like that usually. But I find that, like, an unfavorable comparison. Comparing fucking Escaflowne to this fucking Arthurian show. Like, come on. Like, if you're gonna compare it to, like, Gundam, sure. I think Gundam has a lot more going on. Maybe it's better animated or something. Like, compare it to a similar show of that era. Or even remotely closer, like Dunbine or something. Not fucking Escaflowne. Why are they comparing it to an anime 20 years later? You know what I mean? It's just like, come on. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, whatever. Pretty sure yep. Well, they love bringing up Escaflowne. Oh, they need to gas that show up a lot because I guess it bombed when it came over here because they were like pearl clutching over its initial localization. But hey, it got crowdfunded and got a new dub and got out there and it's still not popular. It's like, sorry. Some things catch on in America and other things don't. That's just how it goes. They've tried with Saint Seiya multiple times. If they're going to compare it to anything, compare it to Rose of Versailles. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I remember thinking of like 97. Oh, Rose of Versailles maybe, but you can do a lighthearted take of King Arthur. Why not? I know. That looks perfectly fine. What's their problem? Yeah, right? And it's only 30 episodes, not like some shows where it's 90. Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. That was just a weird thing for me. Kitaretsu Encyclopedia. I get it. you know, it's little more than a respray of the creator's earlier Doraemon. And you look at it, you know, you look at like what is the fucking Kitaretsu inside Kitaretsu? I'm just gonna pull it up on Mal. Like, yeah, I get it. It's you see this and it's like, yup, that's just Doraemon again. But like 330 episodes is not is nothing to sniff at. That lasted a good while. You know, give them some respect, right? That's just how I feel. And there's some people who probably really like this show and didn't grow up on Doraemon, but grew up on this. And like, you know, Doraemon obviously lasted longer, and you know, whatever. I actually want to see, in terms of the manga, I want to know how long it lasted. The manga was 45 volumes, which is very significant. And then Kiritetsu, whatever. Kitaretsu was only 3 volumes. Like, nothing, you know? So I get it. But still, it's just like, it's just obnoxious to me. I don't know, not obnoxious, I guess is the word. It's disappointing. I just wouldn't want any anime to be treated like that, especially if you're like, you know, making an encyclopedia like this. To be fair, outside of Laughing Salesman, a lot of their work looks the same. Still doesn't work that make their work bad. Right. You know, and also just doesn't make the work that those people did. Like, these creators, they just wrote fucking 3 volumes of the manga. And, like, that's it. And they're like, yeah, they're not really catching on. Whatever, we'll stick to Doraemon or something. But, 330 episodes is a lot, you know? I don't know. It's just something that was kind of, like, stuck in my craw, I guess. Knights of Lamune. God. And maybe this is like, maybe this was the anime that they wanted to make this encyclopedia for, to prove that anime is more than this, right? But I forget which other anime they said this about. They said they made a very similar comment about an anime. I think it was, oh my god, I think it was Demon City Shinjuku. That they're just like, this is what everyone thinks anime is. Ugh. It's like, okay. And way to throw this one show under the bus, and as if that's to blame for people's impressions of it. Where is it? God. I'm just trying to see. Yeah. The passionless, perfunctory Demon City Shinjuku is at least partly responsible for the popular mainstream notion that, quote, all anime are the same. That is so insulting. I'm not even that big of a fan of Demon City Shinjuku. I get it, Wicked City is better. I get it. But, like, you gotta be like that? And fucking Knights of Lamune, the kind of anime that leads first-time viewers to assume that the entire medium is nothing but big eyes, explosions, and weary plot by numbers. I worked on Lamune for the closed captions we did. We released this on with Discotheque. I don't know if we released all of it. I think we released like season 3 or 4 or something like that. But like, I don't know. You could at least give a little more tact. Like I think it was interesting that they were describing certain plot details. It was like, now it's about aliens or something, you know, because it was seeming like a lot of different random shit would happen. But like, you could also make the argument that that's what the creators wanted to do, because they were having fun with it. They're like, let's do aliens next, you know? Like One Piece. You know, like kind of like One Piece, where it's like, it's everything that Oda is interested in. He wanted to make a mecha series, he made a character a robot. He made like he wanted to do like, oh, I've always liked centaurs. Let's put centaurs in. You know, it's consistently stuff that he likes and wants to write about and has different interest in. So they hate Demon City Shinjuku, but praise Overfiend. Logic, man. Yeah, and again, different people, but yeah. That is funny because McCarthy gave Demon City Shinjuku a 4 out of 5 in her earlier anime movie guide book. So it's a Clements. So that I don't. Maybe this is a Clements article then. Perhaps. That's interesting. And there's no confirmation about that until he says it. Until we like, he's like, yeah, or like, yeah, Helen wrote that, or yeah, I wrote that. No way to tell. And it won't matter either way because both of their names are on the book. They're endorsing, and that's fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and it's okay if they have different opinions. It's just sort of like, this is how you're going to represent this anime by calling it a respray of this other thing. To just like give it this very derogatory impression that someone who reads this book is gonna, that might be the first time they ever heard of this show, and you call it that, and you're like, thanks, I'll avoid that title then. I hate that. I'm not a fan of like dissuading people from watching something. I tell them what I think if I watched it and be like, I didn't like it, but I don't say don't watch it. At least I try not to. And if I have in the past, then it's like, the most I did was like Guru, like Doki Doki Densetsu. I do think I said in that video that I was like, you can safely skip that one. And I give my reasons for it. But it's not like I can stop them from doing that. You know? But that's a consistent thing with these guys. There's whole things of like, you're going to die someday and you don't need to spend your time on this. You should spend your time on something else. Or this is way better. This other shit. You know? Someone really needed to edit this book for consistency. You said that like a couple months ago. I was editing these streams to get the time codes. Not editing the streams, but I was like going through the streams to time code things. And I remember getting to a clip of me discussing this with you, of someone needing to edit this book for consistency. You said the exact same thing. It's really interesting. Weird they let the negative opinion win out. Win out, right? I don't know how they decided who's going to write what. It could have been a fucking grab bag. Who knows? Anime back when? It's great to see you. I don't know if you've seen Knights of Lamine. Kind of an old 90s show. But would you say maybe if you have, it's the kind of anime that leads first-time viewers to assume the entire medium is nothing but big eyes, explosions, and weary plot by numbers? Like, God, how insulting. Anyway. Gonna move on to spoilers. Kabuto. It's just for the OVA. Because there's like the series and then like the OVA is like, eventually this happens. Okay. Hey, Becca. Ushiro no Shomen Dade. They do spoil that because they recount the entire movie. I know because I've seen the movie yesterday. And there's like, yeah, that's the whole movie right there. Okay. And then Kiki's Delivery Service, they sum up the whole movie. Like, alright. Oh, I hate Knights of Ramune. Ah! Yeah, but that's fair. Man. Oh shit, Bob, what's up? This book feels like they watched everything at 4 times speed as they're writing it. I don't know if they've watched it. I don't even know if they watched it. And I doubt that they watched it 4 times speed. I would hope not. But like, I say it's like, no, there's no way. Because like I kind of I have a vibe from Helen and John that like they really do care and respect about anime a lot. That I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would watch an anime at more than 1 time speed. But I don't think they watched everything. and I don't expect them to. They almost every anime is in here. Like, there's been some that have been missing, and I've been documenting which ones could have been in here and weren't, that are in the third one. And then I'm also not, like, going through Mal and be like, oh, you missed one, or whatever. Because that would also be ridiculous and kind of exhaustive for me. I haven't seen every anime. I can't correct everything in here, because I haven't seen everything. I can only talk about the things that I've seen. Be like, I know that doesn't happen, or I know he didn't work on that, because I've just known that in the past. You know, or I just happen to stumble across the information. I think it's just the sheer volume of shit that's in here, which is nearly all of it. There's just stuff that they're going to get wrong and mixed up. So, to be fair, most of the fans that Mecha Spirit series that spun off from hate it too. It took a few years for me to realize Anime Abandon was dedicated to shitting on shows. Yeah. For the most part. Thankfully, Bennett, he's changed. And he did talk about in his latest video and on Ava that he's not proud of the majority of his videos from 2017 and before. Which is a lot for him. That's like 5 years of videos. Yeah, I mean, I don't often play Minecraft because I'm not very good at it. I'm just, I don't know. I also, like, can't play it too much nowadays because I just get too busy with this stuff, and I'm just more interested in other things. I know it would be a big time sink for me. But I was listening to 10 Hours of Rain with Minecraft music to sleep, study, or relax to. So I used that to listen to this while I was reading all this this section. So I decided to use it for this audio. He shitted on Macros Plus? Actually, I don't know. I've not gotten to Macros Plus yet. Let's find out if he shitted on that. I know you're not here too often, so. Let's see. God, where did they mention it? Okay. I'm just going to scroll to Macros and see if they mention it in Macros Plus. It took me half a year. His Goldo 13, Devilman, and Macros Plus videos were his last straws. Oh, you were talking about Bennett. Sorry. Never mind. Okay. But yeah, I actually didn't know he shouted on Macros Plus. That's hysterical. He also shitted on Metropolis, Perfect Blue, Grave of the Fireflies. Yeah. At least those three. Oh, God. No, but he fanboyed over it like a Naruto fan from '06. It was a really cringy video. Oh, okay. I actually watch YouTube on a different channel. I signed in here when I want to watch when I want to comment. Oh, cool. Fair. That's fair. I do the same thing. I have like a personal channel that like doesn't have any of my branding and stuff, and I have all my like my YouTube channels that aren't anime related that I have subscribed to. And then Caribou-kun is all anime channels, like as many as I can possibly find, and that's what I use for digest. And then Shabe's like, it's not really anything, but it's mostly just a couple anime YouTubers. Tokyo Godfathers, I remember. Oh yeah, do you not like that one? Damn. Sheesh. Use it as an example for why he won't watch the sub. Yeah. I think I remember I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. Oh my god. He goes on a cringy rant at the end about why anime is so much better back then, and people like that newer anime are just fooling themselves. Last specific video I ever watched from him. First time I hear him about anyone shitting on Perfect Blue. Oh yeah, did not like it. How do you narrow your digest videos down? You got to be watching hundreds of episodes. I am not. I'm not watching all of them. Nope. I literally just like go through the subscriptions like I always like I would any YouTube channel, or like with any like just watching YouTube as a casual. and I just go by title and thumbnail. And of course, I'm familiar with some people's content, right? Where it's like, oh, that's unusual that Rekka's talking about Cyberpunk, Pirate Cyberpunk. It's kind of a newer show. That might be interesting, So I might make those judgment calls. And then there are obviously some channels where I love their stuff so much that I'll just watch everything from them, no matter what it is. And then there's stuff that I just won't talk. I'll watch just recreationally, but I won't talk about it on Digest because it's like I'd be kind of saying similar stuff. And that's a lot of Bob's videos, actually. Like, I watch a lot of Bob's content nowadays, but I don't talk about all of it. So really, in terms of narrowing it down, it is literally just what I'm interested in, and then I put that on watch later, and then the day I'm doing Digest, I watch all of them. And if I have if I'm watching them, it's like, it's okay, or it's like I have nothing really to say about it, I'll just skip it. Or I might watch to the end, but then I just don't say anything about it. So it all depends. I somewhat agree with that. There's bad new and bad old. Good new and good old. Good way of putting it. Like, why can't we both... Why can't we like both new and old anime? It's such a hard is that such a hard concept to grasp? I had his discussions playlist on at work in last weekend. Oh yeah. Anyway, spoilers, and then short. Yeah, so I did when I went through the whole, when I started a K, I usually highlight in green the entries that are for the 3rd edition only, so that I can, I don't have to look or get confused or whatever. It's just easier for me. And when I did that, I was like, let me just do all the short and long stuff, where like I go through the whole thing, and if I kind of at a glance notice that an article seems short, I'll count, and if the article seems long, I'll count. And so these are the ones I picked up. Of course, the short ones are all ones you've never heard of before. Kagirohi, Karakuri Ninja Girl, but the 1st edition only is that short. Kickers, Kiko-chan Smile, Killfish School, Kiss, XXXX. Kobo-chan! Oh boy, Kobo-chan. That's, I saw that and I was like, that's gotta be the shortest entry in this whole fucking book. Oh my god. And then I got to Kunoichi Sakuya and it's like, oh, actually that might be a shorter one. Sheesh. Koiken and Kosuke and Rikimaru. And then Kobo-chan, but the Kobo-chan is like interesting. Because when I got to it, there was, I forget what prompted me to look it up, but when I did, I was like, oh, huh. Found some stuff. I liked Cyberpunk quite a lot. Yeah, I did too, and I watched 2 episodes of it. I gotta finish it. We gotta relist those vids, man. They're great. Like, even when Bennett was praising an anime, he somehow manages to screw it up. Liking all the things is the correct choice. Exactly. Yeah, you can't help not... if there's something you don't like, you can't help it. There's nothing you can do about it. But the play and the trick is to have one burst of like, hey, I know I've been tweeting about, hey, I was watching this show, so some people might be curious of my impressions of it. I didn't like it. And then move the fuck on. Don't dwell on that shit. Eureka 7? Not a big fan. Not gonna bother. Not gonna try to like justify it or prove it to people. Bokurano, wasn't a fan. Dugram? I'm starting to like it more. There was periods where I'm just like, I don't know, dude. But this one, it's sort of like, there's sort of something interesting about it that it's doing right now. That I kind of saw it coming, and now I'm thinking of it. It's just like, oh boy. There's a thing about Dugram. I'm sorry, this is a tangent. That's so interesting, where it's a mecha series, and every episode has some mission or something to do with the robot. Like the robot does some cool action shit, but it's increasingly the case where that is not the concern. And the more interesting part of the episode, the bulk of the episode, is spent on the politics and on this particular character who is trying to make his way up the ranks, who's the bad in the bad guy ranks. Like, this is one of the bad guys of the show, and he's trying to creep his way through the bad guys' ranks. And it continuously is cutting back to that, and that is increasingly becoming the more interesting part of the show. And if you look up this show, he has the most, he's like the top rated build, he has the top billing. And that like never happens in a mecha series, where this villain, who is not even a combatant or anything, is like the most interesting character. And like has the most, most popular basically. It's so interesting. And I had a suspicion where it's like, I think the show realizes he's the kind of the most interesting part about their show. So they're shifting more focus to him in this latter fourth, in favor of like, oh, so that we don't have to animate these action scenes as much. That's been my suspicion, because the show is on kind of fighting for its fucking life for animation wise. It does not look great. It's not a looker, and it's never really that interesting for visual for action and stuff. So that kind of got me thinking with that sort of thing. Really good seeing you, Rekka. I'm gonna head out. That's how I feel about My Hero Academia. Can't find the appeal at all, but get called a hater. They should just don't like it, then fine. And then don't go exacerbating it, I guess. A lot of it comes from not understanding what they're watching or why people like it. They just compare it to things they like as if it were made for them. I know, right? Oh, what mecha am I talking about? Dougram. Dougram. It's also pronounced it's technically pronounced Dougram. But it's the first mecha series. It's like the first original mecha series by Ryosuke Takahashi, who's the Votoms guy, Leisner, Blue Gender. He's like second to Tomino in terms of prolific, long-running mecha series. And Votoms is like his most popular one, but this was his first one. And it's 75 episodes. Didn't need to be. And unfortunately didn't need to be, but yeah. Yeah, I don't like... I mean, there are anime I can't stand, like Violence Jack, but I don't go into an anime to hate it. Oh, yeah. And but then what I mean is that like you don't make your whole personality about hating Violence Jack. Yeah, I don't like airing out my negative opinions about stuff. Someone else can like it, and that's great. Unless people ask, right? That's the thing. If people ask, and you just give your honest opinion about it. But then, really discuss and focus on the things that you like. I mean unless the anime offends me. I don't find the need to shit on it. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Namune. Alright. Let's go through this couple that I was now interested in. Kaikon Frey, blah, 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 blah. Let's check them out. Check it out. Baby, 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 if you really want me. Sorry, one sec. I'm just like moving some stuff around so I can easily, without having to click off of shit. Okay, Kaikon phrase. And I'll admit some of these are not my first time looking into it. So this is sort of like, okay, it's like a new band type of thing. And it's a shoujo series. So anything that's shoujo at these days, I'm just like really interested in watching because you don't get too many of them, all things considered. And I don't know, they were saying that this one like was the really noticeably cheap digital animation. And I don't know. I can see what they're talking about, but like I think it looks kind of decent, all things considered. And I don't know, I'm just interested in that. This first review was pretty positive about it, but this person wasn't recommending it. Was because they had read the manga. So it was just like, oh, and if you've read the manga, don't bother with the anime. You'll be disappointed. type of deal. So fine by me. I don't give a shit. So that's interesting. I was interested in that one. Kama Sutra. Is it this one? Yeah. This is the weird. This is like the silly Go Nagai one. They described the entire plot of this one, but I still was just kind of like, that just sounds like a romp. It is listed as a hentai. From the master storyteller, Go Nagai. Absolutely not for children. I guess you haven't seen the Wounded Man OVAs then. You're spot on, I haven't seen that. Not well rated either. Sheesh. I have too much time in my hands, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know. The description of it just seemed like really ridiculous and like a lot of fun. Kind of like Hanape Bazooka. I'm gotta record my Gigigay video. It's looking like 40 minutes. Woo! Exciting! You can finally be, thank God someone saw all of that and someone watched it. Took the bullet. Good shit. Yeah, dude, 40 minutes? That sounds lovely. Compared to my three hour-long fucking Naruto videos. The first one, I've recorded all 3 of them. The first one I have finished editing the audio, and it looks to be about an hour and a half, barring any, musical shit and other things that I do. It'll be about an hour 30. And then my second one and third one, I still haven't finished editing the audio. But hopefully they don't go over 2 hours. I really hope to God. Looking forward to it, Bob. Yeah. But thanks so much for stopping by, though. Kama Sutra, yeah. Oh, it seemed like fun. Karuizawa Syndrome. This guy keeps popping up, man. I remember fucking this particular guy. I think in all 3 instances of the Anime Encyclopedia, I've been interested in his work some way or another. Yoshihisa Taragami, the original creator for Grey Digital Target, this, and Galvian. I remember reading the synopsis to Galvian and was like, that sounds interesting. And I liked the designs, the noses. I keep bringing this fucking guy up. It's like it's fucking destiny, dude. And if you Google this one, there's a Twitter thread that comes up. Where the fuck is it? Or at least the images do. Yeah, this guy. Look at this. Ooh. Their description of it in the encyclopedia was not that interesting. But I think it was something I don't remember precisely what it was. Some difference about it made me look it up, and then it found this Twitter thread. And, this guy, it was directed by Nishikubo Mizuho. California Crisis, Zillion, Neko. So, like, I'm a big fan of California Crisis and Orane. So this guy could be fucking 3 for 3 for me. Potentially. It just seems like a fun time. Like, hell yeah, dude. Is that one on here? Please tell me. Although it is, but I might also look to see if there's a good rip of it first, instead of trying to watch it here. Although this is like a year ago, so this might be as good as we can get. Is that? Damn it, Bobby! I love the backgrounds though. Like, look at that. Damn. Damn. Big fan. Anywho. And then Keek-chan oh, yeah. Is it Kiko? Yes, it is Kiko.
Kobo-chan smile. I didn't watch all the Raws though. Oh no, I mean that's fair. That's what I love scenes like that. So this was cool because like I don't remember precisely why I looked this up, because I don't look up every single fucking article that I do. But when I looked this up, this caught my eye. Josei. That's just not what I expect at all for Josei, you know? So that really got my attention. Let's find let's see what we got. Chinese subbed, whatever. Why are they small? Anyway. Why is it in this aspect ratio? I don't understand. This kind of seems like fun. Kind of graphically interesting. Apparently they said that this is like an early version of Daria, where like the main character is super jaded and her parents are really, everyone around her is super dim-witted, and so she's just like really judgmental and shit. And that's like where the comedy comes from. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like a fun time. But Josei was just weird, interesting about that for me. Weird aspect ratios used for copyright dodging purpose. That's the first time I've seen this happen, though. I've never seen anyone do this particular thing. It's not a bad play. I've just never seen this happen. Yeah. And then Kirara. This just seemed really cute. The concept's fun too. 24-year-old Kira is on her way to her wedding when she's killed in a car accident. However, her love for her fiancé is so strong that she's permitted to return to the Earth as a ghost to see him, but she is sent back 8 years in time to when she and her fiancé first met. However, her own meddling in the past may make her 16-year-old self turn away from her would-be fiancé. So there was something, she's like, yeah, look, I'm gonna marry you, but on our wedding day I get fucking murdered. Or I get killed in a car accident. So, I don't know. It seemed like fun. The whole thing's on YouTube too. Actually subbed in English. Just seems like a fun time. Recommended. Cool. This is interesting. There's one person recommending site for the video of all things. Yeah. I don't know. It seemed like fun. Those are the ones I've been interested in. There wasn't any articles there. I was just like, that was a good article. That happens sometimes. Okay. Now, odd choices. Not too many, but that's fine, because then we could just have an hour-and-a-half stream or so. Or something. Okay. Kaikun phrase, aka sensual phrase. Sensual phrase. Why didn't you just call it sensual phrase then? Why is it Kaikun phrase? Was it released in English as that? I don't think it was. Let me just double check that it wasn't an English release for them. Yeah, Kaikun phrase. Apparently it was never really made available in English. Why is it listed there? It's just so weird to me. I made a note that I don't need to do. Okay. Ushiro no Shomen Dare. Remake. I told it like that. Reports into the original. Keep It Up, Guide Dog Sob. I talked about it in changes. Keep It Up, Guide Dog Sob, lifting several tropes from sports anime such as Aim for the Ace. A well-loved puppy's life is turned upside down as he is put through a tough training regime until he triumphs and makes the world a better place? So just because the main character gets trained hard, it's aim for the ace then. I mean, isn't this more of a trope from Attack Number 1 that aim for the ace is taking from? And isn't it also a trope in Star of the Giants? You know, that's like a big thing in Star of the Giants where the dad is super abusive and like trains his son really, really hard, and that's how he gets so good. I don't know, it was just weird to call it that. It just seems very dismissive to me, but I guess not a huge deal. And it's also just like, give more nuance to it. Like, that's not all of what Aim for the Ace is about. No, I know that it's not what they're saying, but in terms of like tough training regime, the coach's tough training regime is not the only thing that motivates Hirumi Oka to be as good as she is by the end. Because like, if it was just the tough training regime, she would have quit. She would have like stopped doing tennis, and she wouldn't be motivated to be a good player. You know, there's other things that kept her around. Toto, her like, you know, the boy she liked, kept telling her to keep at it. Her friends were also in the tennis club, so she didn't want to quit because they were also in it. And she had this rival that she wanted to get as good at and wanted recognition from in Ochofuji, Ryuzaki. So there are all these different aspects that motivates her to continue doing tennis. It's not just the strict training regimen, you know? I love scenes like that. Yeah. They need to stop doing these shallow comparisons. Oh yes, Aim for the Ace, that anime that they definitely watched. Maybe they did, you know? But like, boiling it down to that and like, oh, I know Aim for the Ace. I don't know, it doesn't respect the anime they're talking about, and it doesn't respect Aim for the Ace either. By making that sort of comparison, like, oh, that's all it is. You know? Compare the entries of Keropi and Kiki Lara. There's 2 Sanrio video series, but Keroro, and Hello Kitty for that matter, they list several of the entries, but not for Kiki and Lara? Yeah, I thought that was weird. It's 2 different entries, and both of them are Sanrio projects, and you know, they do that thing where Keroro, it does, like, Keropi, it just lists like, and then he did this, and then there was this other OVA, and there was this other OVA, and there was this other OVA, and it kind of bloats it a little bit. And then Kiki and Lara, they really gloss over which ones they did, and I had to look on Mal to be like, which ones did they do, or you know, they were at least a lot more succinct. So if anything, Kiki and Lara are the more ideal. It's like the more ideal way of going about that arc, that entry. Because I would rather that over, like, maybe, you know, give a couple, like, yeah, some different installments, do this and this. Instead of listing every single fucking one and the year that came with it and what it was about and everything. That just bloats the whole thing, you know? If they watched anything from Ace, it was probably the SNES game. They have Japanese sources, so. I remember from a previous stream that you read the Ace article, and it felt like they didn't watch it. Yeah, no, I can totally believe them not having seen it, but I don't want to assume, you know, unless it's completely wrong, like Infinite Revias, in which case it's like, I really don't think you saw it. Or Hakage Densetsu, same thing, where you just get it completely wrong. Kiki's Delivery Service. Yeah, this is the thing I was like, that gets under my skin, dude. He imbues her with the Miyazaki, imbues her, Kiki, with the independent spirit of Fio from Porco Rosso. Porco Rosso came out after Kiki. How can Miyazaki have infused Kiki with a character that he has not created yet? What are you doing? What is this wordage? Is wordage even a word? I don't think it is. Verbiage, I guess. Maybe. I don't even know if that would be the right word for it. What? Yeah. It's like, no, don't do that. Anything but that. Oh no. They are so good at avoiding that, because there's plenty of, there's plenty of people who can make that mistake. I think they just don't, they're not thinking historically enough, or not making the right connection. They slipped up here. I think it's just like a oh, don't say that, don't say that. Clearly Miyazaki is a time traveler. Right. Not a fan. Come on. Sorry. God damn it. Also, just not as bad as that, honestly, but it's strange how the first edition says that Kiki is the 7th highest grossing animated film at the Japanese box office. And apparently it hadn't changed as of the 3rd edition. Where, Howls had come out. Ponyo had come out. But then you look at the, it's really funny. You look at the Japanese top box office gross now. The vast majority of them are, like, from the recent years. I don't even know if they've been adjusting for inflation at all. I can't tell. I really don't know. I don't know where to get that information, to be honest with you, besides Wikipedia. That happens to be collecting it for recreational purposes. But, like, the vast majority of them are, like, franchise stuff from, like, the 2010s. Like, 2015 onwards. That they don't have entered in the encyclopedia. So I don't actually know if that's correct or not. It could be. But it just made me be like, I feel like something else came out that knocked Kiki down off of that positioning. It'd be really embarrassing if either of these people had written books about Miyazaki. DGKP! They wrote books about Miyazaki, didn't they? Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't, but I feel like they did. But it sounds by your comment that, like, it'd be a shame if they, I think they did, didn't they? Why Fio, though? Miyazaki's leads always have an independent spirit. Yeah. You see, they already, earlier in the article, they already made allusion to Nausicaa. There's, like, she's like Nausicaa in, like, Loving Flight. Not like that. I am being... I have to find it. I want to be precise with my quoting here. There's so many KAs. Ugh. K-E. Kiki. Kiki! Okay. Where is it? Yeah. Miyazaki films his witch with the same love of flight that characterizes Nausicaa, what with views and perspectives impossible from the ground. He imbues her with the independent spirit of Fio from Porco Rosso, but does not shy from having a heroine who can catch cold, feel sorry for herself, and worry about her food budget. I mean, if those are the qualities, right? I don't know. Whatever. Sure. Whatever you say. I suppose so. Anyway. Kimba. I had to rewatch fucking Your Movie Sucks' video on Kimba again, just to, like, get my thoughts straight at, like, what, just refresh myself on the reality of this comparison, of this conspiracy, really. But let me just read you what they wrote here about that. And I'm pretty sure I may have done this in another article, so I apologize. The series had slowly faded from public perception until the release of Disney's The Lion King in 1994. The tale of a lion called Simba, whose father dies, who just can't wait to be king, who has a mandrill for a counselor, an argumentative parrot-like bird, a hornbill for a friend, and an evil scarred lion adversary, plus bumbling hyena minions. Like Kimba, Disney's Simba is also haunted by his father's face in the clouds, a fact lampooned in an episode of The Simpsons when the ghostly apparition of Disney's Mufasa appears to Lisa and mixes up the Simba-Kimba names. Disney representatives made the unlikely assertion, that the entire production staff of The Lion King was unaware of the Tezuka original, including co-director Roger Allers, who, by Disney's own admission, had spent 2 years in Tokyo working on Little Nemo, Adventures in Slumberland. Oh yeah, because then he's like, you know, Kimba the White Lion, out of all the fucking anime that could have been around him, because he worked in Japan and was working on this Little Nemo thing, of all the fucking anime, he goes Kimba. Really? Really? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. The controversy was given further fuel when Fumio Suzuki, a creator who claimed partial ownership of the original 1965 series, authorized the release of 8 episodes on video as Kimba the Lion Prince from 1996, with a new 1996, with a new dub that seemed deliberately calculated to imply further previously non-existent parallels with the hapless Disney production. Ironically, the controversy over the Disney film may have pushed Tezuka Productions into making yet another version of its own work, the movie Kimba the White Lion in 1997, which there was a whole thing about whether it was actually made in 87, and there's like a whole fucking thing about that too. Released just a little too late to warrant the filmmaker's claims that it was in honor of the original's 30th anniversary. Yeah. And then they don't mention Kimba from 2009. In the 3rd edition, they don't make mention of it. And then it says Disney would inadvertently antagonize the anime audience again with Atlantis the Lost Empire. See Secret of Blue Water. Oh my god. So like the whole like Simpsons lampooning it as if to like justify, like, look, it definitely is, because even the Simpsons took notice of it. Is that what you're trying to say? But also YMS's commentary on the clouds thing of his father appears in the clouds, it's not his father that appears in the clouds, it's Kimba himself that appears in the clouds, and the only reference to it is in the manga originally, and then the 1991 memorial video, which they don't mention in this encyclopedia, that it shows up in the 91 memorial video with no dialogue, that the Kimba in the clouds, and it also shows up at the end of one of the series. I don't remember which one. I think the 80s one. And he says that all 3 times it's symbolic. He's not talking to him. And also that in Kimba, there's really way too many scenes of hallucinations, seeing his mom in a constellation, seeing his dad's face in the moon, seeing Kimba run in the moon, seeing his friends running and it's a hallucination. Kimba other characters hallucinating Kimba doing something. It's like a really common thing in the series for characters to hallucinate other characters or seeing other characters. And YMS makes the connection that the whole Simba seeing his father and his father talking to him, it's supposed to relate to the fact that the Lion King is trying to be like Hamlet. It's trying to be a loose adaptation of Hamlet, in which the beginning of the play, the father appears to him in a ghost-like thing. And so it's like, what is a way to show that Kimba didn't already do? It's a whole thing. So I think he makes a really good articulation, and actually uses The Simpsons. The way they use it, The Simpsons here, is like the fact that they make mention of it as justification for their argument here. Instead, he uses it as the South Park episode Simpsons did it, where the Simpsons have done so many episodes and done so many things. It's very easy to have accidentally stumbled upon a plot thread that The Simpsons have already done. And so it's sort of just like, who cares? Just because all art can repeat itself and do the same thing, have the same plot thread, but just have their take on it, you know? And they can do them better or worse. You can have the show with the exact same basic setup, and one of them does it way better than the other one. You know? Sorry to remember reading the chat. What about Sheeta? I know. Yeah, YMS Kimba video is golden. Even before the YMS Kimba video, just reading Kimba's wiki page shows that it has more in common with Bambi than Lion King. I wonder how influential they were in pushing the Lion King conspiracy. I don't know how influential they were. It was definitely more Fred Patton, of which Fred Patton is, you know, a close friend of theirs. So and also YouTube did a lot more, I would imagine, but they certainly didn't help. It's funny because 97 Kimba movies steal shots from The Lion King. Right, exactly. What? I don't think the Simpsons writers even watch anime. Yeah, so that's how you know that this conspiracy was like a pretty prominent thing when The Lion King came out. And the fact that like no one gave a shit about Kimba until The Lion King, and they were like, oh, you know, and they were trying to, and YMS makes an amazing point. Like towards the end of the video, I don't know why he didn't make the video shorter and just kind of put this quote in here, but he found a quote from Tezuka's son. And Tezuka's son was like, the conspiracy is mostly originated from Americans. Like, Americans are more coming to the defense of Kimba. And he's like, it really doesn't matter. And he's like, I wouldn't bother making the comparison or complaining. And yeah, it's like you can't be angry on behalf of Tezuka's family if they themselves aren't even that bothered by it. Just compare Aim for the Ace and Gunbuster. Same setup, different take. I love Fred Patton, but him pushing that whole conspiracy was a low moment for him. Yeah. Oh yeah, and YMS again makes the point that Fred Patton was really significant and important, and he's like, I'm not trying to like put him down as a person or as an insignificant figure or something. He was just wrong about this particular situation. To play devil's advocate here, the Atlantis Nadia theory does have some more ground to stand on, since Anno himself even commented on the similarities. But I still wouldn't push the whole thing. I mean, Gunbuster is definitely paying respect to Aim for the Ace. No, right. Especially with the tack in the shoe versus in the mech, you know? Like, that's very... I don't know very many... I mean, I haven't seen Attack Number 1, but, you know. Whatever. So that was a thing. They kind of pushed that conspiracy. King Kong, a TV movie, is listed, but they don't seem to mention it in the description. It was just something I happened to glance over. I usually don't scrutinize that part, but it was something I noticed. I was like, huh, I wonder what that is. Kira Kira Melody Academy. I just wanted to pick a bone with this one, with this particular quote. Producers can now effectively market test future stars while they train them, which is either very clever or shamelessly exploitative, depending on how seriously you take Perfect Blue. Okay, so two pieces of this. The first is just that, like, producers can now effectively market test future stars while they train them. I think that just makes sense from a business perspective, because you're putting investment in these stars' potential in terms of their popularity. It's cynical. Like, yeah, it's a cold calculated business decision, but it's a business decision. They need to make money in order to further along this, you know, it's an investment, and they need to make sure that investment is returned. So they obviously want to invest in the idols that fans care about. I'm not into idol culture at all. I don't know this shit. But, like, it would seem to me, I would imagine, that this is a business, and they want to put their resources in the idols that fans actually care about. And so developing a market testing them in this way, and like future stars, like as they're training them, just seems fair to me. They don't just want to put a ton of this research and back. It's like, you're going to be a star, and do all this stuff, and then she doesn't, and then nothing comes of it, right? It's a waste of money. As cynical as that is, or whatever, it's like, to me, that it seems like a very clever, even the way they word that as very clever or shamelessly exploitative. I think it just makes sense on a flat basic. If I was there, and this is an industry that they would like to continue, because they did, this is an industry that's survived for 40 years now. You know, and that's just what they have to do. It makes sense. Shamelessly exploitative, probably, I guess. But then the other thing, right? Depending on how seriously you take Perfect Blue. That's all they say about that. I don't know what they mean. Because Perfect Blue isn't about this. It's not about whether you market test and the way in which they create idol stars. It's about an idol, but Perfect Blue is about an idol switching from one career to another, and the fans' reaction to that. It's also a matter of, you know, popularity, a sense of identity, obsessive fan culture. It has nothing to do with the business of idol culture. You know, just because it has an idol in it and it's a thriller or whatever, like, it doesn't sound like they understand Perfect Blue in that case, in this particular context. You know what I mean? Am I weird am I missing something? Less wasting of the idol's time too. That's what I'm thinking too, right? Or, you know. But, like, that was just a weird comment to make. It reminded me of Bennett's, like, oh, we wouldn't see that until Yuri on Ice. With, like, the fucking production problems midway through the production. What? Yuri on Ice? You know, and just like, what are you bringing that up for? Yeah, that was just a weird comment to me. I don't know what you guys think of that. Kirara, they added a blurb. Compare these anime made after first. I have to put that in changes. Sorry. Kidada. QRA. Yeah. Kobo-chan. Yeah, so Kobo-chan. This, as you remember, is one of the shortest articles I've ever seen them do. It's like nothing. Kobo-chan. Look how fucking small this is. That's it. That's it. The Adventures of a 5-Year-Old Boy in the Tradition of Peanuts, based on Masashi Ueda's 4-panel cartoon strip in the Yomiuri Shimbun newspaper. That's it. It's Charlie Brown. Okay. Oh, okay. And I don't remember what prompted me to search this, but when I did, boy oh boy, so wrong year. They listed it as 1990, but it was 1992, late 1992. They listed it as 15 12-minute episodes. 15 12-minute episodes. It's 63 25-minute episodes. Not the same thing at all. Where are they getting this? The sequel, the special? There's a 2-episode special and it's 57 minutes each. Like, where are they getting this? These 2 specials, 44 minutes each. Like, what happened? What happened? And then, gosh, so finding out more about this shit, This used to air on Crunchyroll. This was on motherfucking Crunchyroll in like 2018. Not anymore. And like, apparently, it's not like nobody saved the subs. I saw on that the raws are on Nya, and one of the comments of like one of the other uploads or whatever was like, "Oh, the subs are all on this other website, so you just have to match the raws with the subs." So I guess it's all subbed, but Anime Bytes doesn't have it all subbed. It's all raw over there. But something I was reading about the synopsis of this, right? Lives in a typical Japanese family. Still, they manage to find odd situations that sometimes arise due to Kobo's growing up process, or simply because of their own habits and misunderstandings. I was like, wait a minute. That's not even like Peanuts either. Because Peanuts, it's Charlie Brown and his friends, and like his sister. But it is famously no adults in the whole show. It's like wah 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 wah, and they're off screen. That's a huge trait of of Charlie Brown. That is not the case here. It's a fucking boy, and that's about it. And he has a dog, I guess. Those are the fucking similarities. And I forget where I found it. I forget where was it this? Yeah, it lists the characters. And like it's all his family. And not even any of his friends. Like even if it had friends in it, but like okay, I guess it's like Peanuts. No, the whole cast is his fucking family. It's not the same thing. It's not Peanuts. So their description, which is not changed at all in the 3rd edition, the adventures of a 5-year-old boy in the tradition of Peanuts, based on Masashi Ueda's 4-panel cartoon strip in the Yomiuri Shimbun newspaper. The origin is the only accurate thing, and I guess maybe maybe the staff is probably accurate or something. The year, the episodes, the length of episodes, it's not like Peanuts. It's like wrong on multiple counts. And it's such a short nothing article too, to top it all off. And so it just shows me just like they did not put the time. They did not put the focus in that one. I don't know what happened. And yeah, I don't give it. Who gives a shit, right? Like whatever about this fuck. It's another Sazai-san or something. I get it. But it makes me think, right? Did they get anything right? If I have to scrutinize it, I didn't really want to scrutinize it, but if I'm just going to go off, and I did check like Annie B or whatever, this is all definitely probably correct because it was on Crunchyroll for a little while, so we would have time to have like checked this. Is a manga created by Masashi Ueda. That is correct. 4-panel cartoon strip in... Where was it published? What the fuck? Why is it like this? Why is it like this? Anyway, 4-page manga. It's a yonkama. So they both say it's a yonkama. Yorimuri Shimbun. Same newspaper. So all of that is correct. But they just got multiple things wrong. But that's just me just so happened to check this one out. Who the fuck knows what else is wrong in here? I would have no idea. I've not been checking because that would take way too much time. I wonder what they think about Perfect Blue. I'm almost sure they watched it. Oh, of course. I've heard of lost dubs, but never lost subs. They're technically not lost, but they're just not. They just weren't put together. I'm intrigued by Kobo-chan. Anybody else sick of Grammarly ads? I guess so. They get anything right? Maybe they mistake it for some other show. I mean, I guess. I don't think they do. I don't think they do because they got the AKA right. They got the Yorumu Shimbun and Masu Ueda's. It is technically about a 5-year-old boy. But yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened. Let me just check their thing on Perfect Blue. They reference it a lot, like 38 times they've brought it up in the book. Mirai's script, which adds the film within a film double bind to really confuse matters, remains one of anime's best since Kazunori Ito's for Patlabor. The obsessive fanstalker who was merely a red herring in the novel is given a succession of actual murders to perform in the anime version, though the blurred line between fantasy and reality is one of Perfect Blue's greatest achievements. The director deliberately cut all transition shots that signified dream sequences or flashbacks, leaving the audience floundering in a confused world, cleverly matching the protagonist's own. Kohn, the former animator on the surreal JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, who created environments full of faux live-action clutter in Rojin Z, makes a virtue of a limited animation budget, depicting crowd scenes with empty faces and playing up the ghostly pallor of fluorescent lighting. The cinematography is gorgeous, as loving a rendition of real-life contemporary Tokyo as the dark, glittering forward projection of the city in Akira. Let me put it back to my screen. Whose creator, Otomo, has a production credit for introducing the producers to his protege Kohn, although some press releases implied his involvement in Perfect Blue was far greater. The increasing influence of the internet and cyber reality on mass perceptions is seriously examined here and further explored in Lane. But Perfect Blue is also strong on traditional story values, beautifully paced plot development, and the craftsman's ability to subvert the conventions of the medium. Most notable and controversial remains a scene in which Mima's character is raped, played out as a pastiche of The Accused, but continually taunting the viewer with the question of whether this time it is really for real. The prosaic movements of lights and camera, and the whispered apologies of the actor playing one of the attackers who has to stay in position during a shooting break, heighten the surreality precisely because they remind us that Mima is being assaulted in a respectable professional context. Later in the movie, she is assaulted for real. Etc., etc. God, they go kind of a while. Sometimes I think they just guess when writing articles. The thing is, it could be their own sources, which also don't give a shit. Not that they, and I really don't think they don't give a shit. I don't think they don't. I think they do. I really think they're trying. But it's probably just, it's hindsight. It's very easy for me to look at this stuff because the internet that can be constantly changing itself, revising itself, can also be wrong. I would have, and they would also have to. They've been going off of particular Japanese sources that might have wrong information. I could be going off to these other sources. These could also have wrong information. I saw that I didn't download the torrent for this to see and count for myself all 63. Yep, these are all unique, individual 63 episodes. Yep, it is definitely 63. Oh, yep, I just checked all of them myself. They are, in fact, all 25-minute episodes. I can't do that. And I can't do that for every single one of these. Right? So, that's the unfortunate thing. It's kind of a your versus word versus my word type of thing. And they've gotten the vast majority of it correct, from what I can tell. So, that's what's hard about this. But it's good I just want to be able to point all this stuff out when I can. Again, Kobo-chan was really an anomaly only because of how small the article was. There was like, oh my, the heck? That just caught my attention and got me interested in it. And got me to find this stuff out. I wouldn't have otherwise if it was a normally sized article. Anywho. Kobo-chan. Yeah. Koiko's daily life. Years ahead of The Sopranos. Pretty sure this plot is like in the Bible too. Basically, the plot of this one is like gangsters, and it's a husband and wife, or a couple at least. And the mob boss really wants the wife character, so he puts the husband in increasingly dangerous situations to try to get him in prison so that he can take care of his wife. And that literally happens. And he's like, oh, and they say it's like way ahead of The Sopranos. They did this before The Sopranos. I've not seen The Sopranos, so I don't know how accurate that is. But I also know that is literally a thing in the Bible. Like King David does that. He sees a woman from off. He's on his balcony of his palace. He sees a woman. He wants that woman, but she is married to this other guy. He puts that guy on the front lines of this war to kill him, so that he'll definitely die. And then, surprise, he dies, and then he takes the woman. That literally happens in the Bible. So that was the thing that I noticed. It was like, yeah, I guess it happens in The Sopranos. It happens there too. Let's see. Kumu Kumu. I've actually seen this one. And I don't know if I actually commented on this before. I remember reading this article early when I first got this book a while ago. Over a year ago at this point. Maybe even close to 2 years by now. I remember getting this book and reading that article because I had actually seen Kum Kum. And Kum Kum was an unexpected success on British TV. Not for being the first English broadcast of work by Yasuhiko, Yasunori Yas. It's Yas. You know, director of Venus Wars and other stuff. Character designer for Gundam, shit like that. Mangaka usually, but animation director and character designer. Really incredibly talented guy. Or indeed of Rintaro's direction, because yes, it was directed by Rintaro. Not that you'd really tell that much. The show is really not that interesting for his direction or anything. It's okay. But because its hero didn't wear any pants. So it was an unexpected success on British TV because its hero didn't wear any pants? Like, yeah, you see dick a lot in that show. Like, little child no pants, you know, that kind of thing. They're all cavemen, by the way. I should clarify. If you've never seen Wanpaku Omkashi Kum Kum, they're all cavemen. This is prehistoric era, and they're all they're wearing like fur coats, like fur caveman shit, but they're not wearing pants. So yeah, of course you see dick. I don't know why that they make that connection. Like, oh, that's why it was popular. Yeah. And I don't know if maybe they're lampooning themselves because they're British. I don't know what they're thinking here, man. I don't know what the fuck. Is there an English dub of this? I guess. Funny, because I watched it with raw, with no Japanese. I watched it with no subtitles. I watched it in Japanese with no subtitles because I didn't know there was a dub. There wasn't one when I had the download for it, when I downloaded all the episodes. British TV is weird, man. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that was what it was. I don't know why I put. Sometimes I do this. I bug out. But that was what I was thinking of at the beginning of this stream when I got to this beginning part. Because I got confused, and that was at the end. They moved Kuromi-chan to Animation Runner Kuromi. Because Animation Runner Kuromi, I assumed, was a third edition. Because it was like in 2001 or something. Yeah, it was 2001. But they actually put it as Kuromi-chan. And I didn't know it. So I had to basically reread it, basically. And it actually has a much more fleshed out synopsis. The first edition confused her with being on the production of Rumoid III, but she's supposed to be a fan of Louis-Mond III. Louis-Mond. And that's because That's weird. It was really. Oh no, that was why. It's released in Japan with English subtitles, and that's why they have it with an asterisk in the first edition. But I can tell that it didn't come out in the U.S. Maybe it hadn't come out in the U.S. period, but it wasn't maybe until the third edition because it's a way better synopsis. It's like really specific and like actually, whatever. They also added a bit about winning the best video anime at 2001 International Anime Fair. I mean, I liked innocent, dirty jokes as a kid, but there still had to be some substance to it. Yeah. And it wasn't really... Yeah, exactly. It's more wholesome. Like, Kuma Kuma is... it's more like, kids playing in the wilderness and just having fun. It's fun. It's cute. It's fine. Yeah. Oh, and then some other... some new words that I learned today. Irascible... Dolores, and Lothario. Okay. Yeah. But that was the extent of it. My time with the Anime Encyclopedia for the first edition. This book. Okay. Well, that was a time. Yeah. Just over 2 hours. Dang it. It's because I definitely took way too long on some of these things. Talked with the chat a lot. Animation from Kuromi is great. Yeah, I hear great things about it. Can't wait to watch it. It's one of the things on our schedule for my patrons group watch, which I gotta make the when are you free thing for it. But yeah, I'm pretty tired. I think I need to jumping in right at the end. Damn it, Mathwiz. I was about to go off. I was about to end it kind of early. But no, but now I wanna stick around a little bit. Damn it. Well, look, at least the VODs are still around, and you can always check those out. And I have been timestamping them roughly. Not so diligently, I'll admit, but that they're chill. But yeah, this is okay batch that we had here. I am done with Zoe, by the way. I know just because Mathis is here. I finished Zoe, and gotta start Whole Cake tomorrow. Tomorrow, Whole Cake actually gets unlocked for me. Not all of the arc, but 21 episodes, and it's going to take me a couple of weeks. I have, if my pacing is correct with like 3 episodes a day, 21 episodes a week. So I usually binge watch One Piece in 21 episode chunks, like every weekend. So I'll hopefully be starting Wano October 24th. So about a month from now. A little more than a month. Yeah. And then I'll be able to be caught up by then. But I will say, if it seems like a certain thing is gonna happen, I won't say what. You all excited to see what you think? You still playing old games, man? Old games. Not especially. I'm not playing very many games right. Actually, recently I was doing a little bit more with the NES Online thing and the SNES Online for the Switch. Like, they have a virtual console for both, and I played a little bit of Donkey Kong Country. That was fun. It's more fun with a rewind feature. I would rage too hard. I would get way too upset with that game, with the lives losing and maybe I'd feel more rewarded, and it wouldn't feel like I'm kind of flying through the game. But I played like one session of it. It was fun. But I'm not like. But there's other games that I'm really wanting to like get to, like the Shinchan Boku no Natsuyasumi director. He made like a Shinchan game that looks really kino and nice, like comfy slice of life thing. Exploration of like the Japanese countryside. Like, I'm a fan. I want to watch. I also obviously want to play Boku no Natsuyasumi. God, it looks gorgeous. And then fucking Tunic is coming on Switch this month. Really want to play that. But man, I just don't feel the motivation to play games because I got these projects. You know, I got this. I got the Naruto video, which I've edited the audio for the first part. It's an hour and 30 roughly. And then part 2 and 3 I still have to edit. So hopefully they're under 2 hours. If not, if they're over 2 hours, I'm going to try to trim them to be less than 2 hours. Try. Keyword, try. But we'll see. I actually need to actually read Wano soon. Why not? Yeah, it's done. In the manga, it's done. So just do it. Or you can even watch the anime, because good lord, that anime. Whoo! That looks pretty good. Man. So, I'm mostly playing JoJo All-Star Battle, really fun fighting game. Oh, nice. Yeah. I think is there that new one coming out soon? It's like a new JoJo one. Maybe it's out right now. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's a new one. But like with One Piece, with the anime, if it looks like we're gonna get there by the end of the year, we're gonna get to the big moment, the big oh shit, you know, real anime defining kind of moment, kind of deal. You know, it's gonna be a really big deal. I really want to be there for that. You know, if it's like I got caught up right when that episode dropped, that'll be a really cool memory. So if that seems like it's gonna happen, I have to look into it. I have to look at what this episode that's being made right now is adapting. I have to see which one that's adapting, and then try to guess, kind of roughly estimate where that's gonna land, and then see if I can make it. That's the other thing. But like my roommate really binges it quick, and I've binged One Piece really quick in the past. It can be done. It can be done. I wouldn't mind. Not that I should probably shotgun Wano, but I don't know. Also, Wano just looks incredible, so I wouldn't mind that. I hope One Piece Odyssey will be good. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be really nice. We'll have to see. I was getting nostalgic for fucking Pokemon Arceus lately. So, man, I really want to replay that game. Probably after, maybe before, or maybe slightly before or something. I don't know. God, fucking Breath of the Wild 2, though. Tears of the Kingdom. Fuck. Definitely can't miss that one. I haven't really missed a Zelda game. That's like a main series one. I've not missed one. Since I became a Zelda fan, which was 2009? I was there for Phantom Hourglass. I was there for Skyward Sword. I was there for Phantom Hourglass, which was a little earlier. I wasn't there for Minish Cap. I know that. I don't know what was between Minish Cap and Phantom Hourglass, but I was there for Phantom. I had played the other games by then. How do you feel about the crew splitting up for Whole Cake? I get it, because they kind of had to. I'm not a fan, generally, you know, because like I like seeing the whole crew, but I also get it because especially the kind of the story that Oda needs to tell with Dressrosa, and with Dressrosa it made sense because there's so many other characters. Where are you gonna fit Where are you gonna fit Chopper, Nami, Sanji, and Brook, and Momonosuke, and Caesar? You know, I get it. Take them off, have them go, and it makes it kind of extended, like it feels like a bigger adventure. I like that choice, even though ultimately I missed them in Dressrosa. So then, most of them are there in Zou, and I like that dramatic reveal, and the way that goes about is fantastic. And the things that Zou does, right, that a lot of people say, it's great. Neen. But then Whole Cake, I get it, because it's basically that second half of the crew gets to go, which I really appreciate. I feel like there is a temptation of just like, let Usopp go too. He's a fan favorite or something. I really like that choice of like deliberately everyone that failed to that thing with Sanji gets to go try to save him. That's great. So I'm excited for content with Brook, Nami, and Chopper. I love them. And Sanji. If I had to choose between two groups of people, Sanji, Nami, Chopper, and Brook, and obviously Luffy will happen regardless, so that's fine. Or Usopp, Frankie, Zoro, Robin. Yeah, those four. Either of those four. I'm kind of choosing Nami, Chopper, Brooke, Sanji, and Jinbei's there too. Jinbei is in I know Jinbei is in Whole Cake. So like I get it. You know, it's not my favorite because I like all of them. But I get it functionally. It totally makes sense. And I'm happy that Wano is like the kind of, they come together. They're all there in the arc. They're just not together yet. And then hopefully, I've had this theory on Piss Pirates. I feel like I like most Zelda games except the NES ones. I feel like those are too dated. Oh, I love Zelda 1. Oh, Zelda 1's like my top 5. And Zelda 2, I have a soft spot for. It's a bitch. God, it's a bitch. But I have a soft spot for Zelda 2. I really love the music. I really like the designs. The combat is hard as nuts, but it's really satisfying with like down thrust and up thrust and just the general movement of that. The EXP is like really interesting and a very different thing for Zelda. And there's something really addicting about just like the system itself that I've never seen in another. I haven't played that many JRPGs, but just the idea of like saving and having this risk reward of like save your EXP for this next level, but you might die and lose all your XP. Like that system is really engaging and fun. It's just hard as balls. That's the only problem. I love the world too. There's so much about Zelda 2 that I like, but it's hard as balls. It does not need to be that fucking hard. I hate it. How spoilery is the new Piss Pirates episode? Almost entirely spoilery. Almost, yeah. I wouldn't. If you've not seen Wano at all, I wouldn't watch it. But I will say, and I was going to mention this with Jinbei and everything. Just like with where they are now post Wano, I really hope it's just them. I really hope the group stays together. That's what I'll say. Obviously, like, it makes sense for Oda to split them up and do different adventures so that more happens and he can show more off, and he can make a lot of interest and he can give focus for everything. But like, and I get it as a writer, it's hard to have the thing happen and have everybody react to it. That's hard. That's like gets really cumbersome really fast. I think he makes mention of that. Like even early on, like Alabasta, he was having that problem. So that's why he splits them up like that. Even probably in Drum Island, you could make that argument. But I just really hope when they're on there's no more. You group half, split in half, you go to that island while we stay here. The thing that they did in Dressrosa. I just really hope he doesn't do that again. Again, not that was a bad choice in Dressrosa and Whole Cake. I think it makes sense. Although at the same token, people can make the argument that Dressrosa was really way too big. He probably didn't intend it to be that big. I don't know. I liked Dressrosa a lot. I was pretty happy with that. Could it be like more taut or specific or something? Maybe. I don't know what you would change, to be honest with you. Konami's Goemon games are the only Famicom RPGs I can recommend. Oh, that's fair. But with Piss Pirates, I was gonna mention that like not a spoilery specific thing. There's basically that. I'm hoping that Jinbei, being the helmsman, is hopefully the person that can be like, guys, we need to stick together. We need to actually like work together as a team, stick together, because that's their problem right now. That's been their problem this whole adventure, the whole journey they've been on together. They always run into this problem, and it always works out. Usually, it almost always works out, where they'll split up and they encounter different shit at different times, and it's like, oh fuck, you know, and that'll happen, and they can get into some they get into trouble by doing that ultimately.
it still works out for them, but I think that's their problem right now. Is they all like Luffy running ahead. It works out again. It just works out, but it's not a good thing inherently. It's not a smart decision on his part tactically. You know. I'm hoping they stick together, and I'm hoping Jinbei can help them with that. That's my one thing I want. I will let One Piece throw anything at me, but I think that's the one thing I would really, and it's going to be hard. I know that's hard for Oda to do as a writer, and it could be very cumbersome, and maybe it presents its own problems, but just, I don't know. That's what I love the most about my favorite arcs are the ones where they're all together, you know? Anyway, that'll be the extent of it. If you guys have any more feedback, questions, any questions? I don't know. Yeah. But it was a good seeing you, fellas. Exhausting. But a good time. Fun time was hopefully had by all. Hope you enjoyed that. And I hope to see you next week. What do you think of an anime called Iron Ledger? The OVAs were written by Sho Aikawa. The start of his writing finally getting away from the edgelord phase. I never heard of it. Iron Ledger. Let's do this last thing. Good night, y'all. Iron Ledger. This thing? Sho Aikawa write this? Did he write this? Wait a minute. No, he didn't. I'm looking at something else. Take care. Okay, I'll look up Sho Aikawa then, and then try to do that. I don't know. Leaguer. Okay. Is that it? No. Iron League. The fuck? Let me just Google it then. Sheesh. Is this a Sho Aikawa thing? Shippu, Iron Leaguer. That's surprising. One, Shuichiro Watanabe did an episode of it. Is this correct? Yep, there it is. Sho Aikawa script. Huh, never heard of it. Wouldn't have thought he wrote it. 93, 94? Wouldn't you say he did a... Wouldn't you say he writing finally getting away from his edgelord phase? Wouldn't you think... Didn't it? Wait, Sho Aikawa, didn't he write fucking... Wait, isn't it the... Am I mixing him up with somebody else? I am. Yeah, I am. Okay. Series composition for Love Hina. Yeah, I was confusing him with the guy who wrote Tamers. I think it's Nakamura or something like that. Whatever. Original creator. What a guy. The OVAs were written by him. Oh. OVAs for Iron Leaguer. This thing. Yeah. Boy, that's sort of like it takes itself seriously. Bro. That's not that fucking hell. Rating 7. This one just rated it this year. Okay. Interesting. I've never heard of it. Well, thanks for pointing that my way then. Cool. Alright. I think I gotta get out of here. Good seeing you guys. Hope to see you next week with the 3rd edition of K the animation. Yeah, that's the first entry. Of course it is. Anywho,
playing it out on my favorite Minecraft track. Well, they're all my favorite Minecraft track. Bye-bye, yo, peace. Up.